Today marks 1618 day of daily lessons, day reflections, and today will be totally reflection, random reflection. 4 months ago, I slammed my finger, middle finger, and after 2 weeks, the nail fell. And I was thinking, just sometimes, such a small mistake. I slammed my finger, and it cost me 4 months of healing. And of course, there's a lot of things that happens just for a moment, and I need to heal over and over and over again for a long, long period of time. And I was thinking, first reflection was like, why it happened? Why I slammed my finger? Why I did such a unfortunate event? And the main thing that I was thinking was that I was not present. I was thinking, I was working, I was doing so many things at the same time, and that caused me not looking toward what I'm doing with my hands. And I think that in life is exactly what it is. When we make mistakes, those mistakes is majority of the time, 90% of the time is that we are not present. So if you making a lot of mistakes, maybe that's the first thing that we can look at. How present are you when you're doing things? Maybe you are multitasking and doing multiple things at the same time, and that really cause not doing the thing in front of you 100%. And that leads to mistakes. And those mistakes potentially leads to fixing the mistakes or healing. It for me took 4 months of healing until finally it doesn't look fully yet, but is almost there. And it's interesting that I will share my experience with my nail is that at the beginning, the nail that started to grow, new nail, was not looking nice. And then after a couple of weeks, the actually proper nails start to grow. And after a couple of months, after 3 months or so, that where nails start to ingrow into my skin. And after 5 days, I I went to a doctor and asked what's going on, and it said it just is quite common that the where nails starts to grow because that's it just response, emerge response to the damage. And my doctor said that the only thing that I need to do is just to put my finger into 2 3 times a day into warm water, salt water, and the nail will be okay. But it's interesting thing because my nail was hurting, and I needed to do consistency every single day, really heal that, and I needed to wait until things, and it got better. But it's interesting sometimes before things get better, things get worse because it got worse when it finally grew up and my nail started to ingrow, and that means that at the beginning it was okay, and then it went worse. And I think in life is exactly with any kind of healing, especially internal as well. I think that you are healing and healing and healing and healing, and finally you are in a time where you actually able to do things, but not fully yet, and you start to experience more, and that's experiencing more and allowing yourself to go through different kind of emotions potentially could feel even worse. Is that I put so much effort to heal, and now I feel even worse, especially in nervous system as well. When you are shut down and when you are then aroused, anxiety and nervous, and then you move to stability, and right before stability there is a moment where you really have so many emotions coming up, and being able to really calm yourself down and be able to be still and allow yourself to really just do consistently what's necessary. My doctor said they just need to do it just into warm water with salt water, and that's it. And I think with any kind of internal healing as well, I think that we overcomplicate. Sometimes it's just 5 to 10 minutes of meditation. That's it. That's the warm water for our mind, for our spirit. Maybe that is a 15 minutes exercise. That's it. Maybe there's 15 minutes of reading a book. That's it. And I think that's as I said that we overcomplicate things. And healing is much more simple. Sometimes we want to speed up the process. And that's why we're looking for things else we could do. But sometimes when we think about what else we could do, sometimes even makes even more damage than actually helps. Because I was playing with that nail and I was trying to cut it with scissors, and I injured even more because of that. Because I was rushing. And I think in healing there's no such a thing as a rushing, because if you rush, you will make more damage. I think that's extremely important lesson. And one thing that I reflected on about as well, that after 5 days when the my nail was not growing and was not looking very nice, I went to a doctor, and that was a big realization for me that I was looking for intervention. I was looking for guidance because in the past, sometimes I used to, especially with health, oil will go bypass. And I think that that's a lesson that we need to learn as well. That when you are healing, we're not supposed to do it everything by ourselves. We always seek guidance, always seek understanding from other people who are experts in their field. And then when I knew that that's exactly what I need to do, I didn't question it, and it made me my healing made me much more confident that that's exactly what it's supposed to do because doctors said that that's a path that I need to take. And the last thing that I just want to mention about the healing part is that healing is not linear. It's a lot of times messy. A lot of things will come up. Sometimes we believe that okay, like just injury, healing, done. Injury, healing, done. But what happens is, for example, my nail is that injury, wear nail, heal nail, then injury, then the nail ingrow, then I need to take antibiotics, and there's just so many different things for just one thing. And I think that's for nail. That's a simple thing. But when you think about internal world, inner peace, and shutdown, and there are so many emotions that are attached with each other, and I think that it gets so much more complicated than that. And then again, I think that one thing is that we want to overcomplicate what we need to do regarding behavior, but we undercomplicate how complicated things are internally, how sometimes takes much more time to entangle all the things in our internal life. Because sometimes we think that we procrastinate, but what we actually do is we afraid of rejection, we afraid of losing something, we afraid of embarrassment, and we're not procrastinators. We are people who are fearful. And again, this is being able to label yourself right. That's leads better to really healing. Because sometimes it as well that with productivity, oh, I'm not so productive, and we looking so much into how to increase our productivity, but actually the thing that we need to focus on is healing our nervous system. Maybe our nervous system was in shutdown for so long, and it's extremely difficult to increase productivity when your nervous system is low. So number one thing to heal is focusing on the right thing. And the right thing is really nervous system. When you're moving from shutdown to anxiety to aroused, it's better than it's better be in anxiety than to be shut down altogether. Even though that is negative, but is a step forward, and then move, of course, to stability, and that's where the healing is. And I think that's one of the key parts is diagnosis. What is diagnosis? What is this? What's happening here? When we have the clarity and awareness of our current station, it's much easier to really heal the things that need to be healed. And as I shared, even though that sometimes we have the clarity what's happening and what we need to heal, still that healing will be messy. And I think that's when you know that, when you accept that, when something comes up that you didn't expect, you are able to accept that changes, those unexpected changes, even better and much easier. And you're able to heal because of that faster. So I hope you reflect as well. Like, I think that every single person will go through a healing season. Some people bigger season, some people smaller season. But I think that's every single person needs to understand, okay, how properly to heal. That's a good question. How properly to heal. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.